Harold blew on his trumpet before he announced the next pony. Celestia fought the urge to yawn as she entered the third hour of the Sun Court. Today had been what seemed to be like a never-ending cavalcade of ponies and problems that made her wonder why they needed a princess's judgment after all. Boundary disputes between farmers she could at least understand, but arguments over whether some pony had insulted somebody else's daughter and what recompense is required? Perhaps there was some merit to the idea of setting up some sort of council with representatives from the free races to listen to these sorts of problems, so that she would not have to do. "Presenting Clove the Clever," announced Harold. Following up was another toot of his beloved trumpet. Celestia raised her head. Clover the Clever? She hadn't seen him since she and Luna arrived, and he and his mentor declined Princess Platinum's offer to accompany her to the Unicornia province of Equestria. Both Celestia and Luna had the same mind that all the founding ponies should remain in their positions of power within the country. Though the founders themselves had agreed to defy the sisters as absolute rulers, Platinum had been most concerned with her retaining title and had voiced the dissent that made Luna and Celestia agree to call themselves princesses rather than queens, although they had sway over ruling the entire nation. While she governed only a small section of it, it gave the impression that they were all equal. An unassuming green unicorn in a shabby brown cloak trotted up to the red carpet towards her throne. Celestia stood over and descended to the steps to greet him. "Clover, I see if my sense of fashion remains as dire as ever." He smiled unpresumptuously, knowing that she was only teasing. "Princess Celestia, thy beauty knoweth no bounds. Truly thy loveliness hath grown apparelled since I last laid eyes upon thee." "Flatter," she laughed. "It shall not garner thee an extra portion at dinner. Prithee, will it though stay up and sup with us?" "My journey has been long, Highness, and fraught with difficulties. I would be most grateful for a crust of bread and a drink of water." She raised an eyebrow. "Mayhap we should feed thee more ample fare than that, Harold?" The gray earth pony bowed his low. His jaunty red cap nearly tumbled from his head, and he nearly jumped to save it, nearly falling on face first when he also refused to let go of his trumpet. Yes, Your Majesty?" "Art there maybe more ponies who seek audience to this day?" He consulted the scroll and carried it with the day's appointments on it. "A good many, Highness." She sighed. "Duty doth keep my name upon its lips. I fear Clover what braineth thee to Everfree this day. A mere visit, or some other problem, to which thou art seeking guidance in the Sun Court?" Clover shook his head. "In fact, Princess, I have come to offer my services in retrieval of the elements of harmony. I have heard rumors that they are missing, stolen by a wench who came to the night to wrest them away." Celestia nodded. "These rumors be truth. Our efforts to locate them have been proved unsuccessful, although Luna remains vigilant. I myself have put many fine unicorns of the royal guard to search the chamber, as well as what scholars and unicorn nobility live within these walls. Yet they cannot identify what manner of theft was able to sleep through the castle undetected, break down the door and steal the elements, and vanish them into thin air before any pony realized. My mentor did recently invent a spell that doth allow the caster to transport himself elsewhere in the blink of an eye," Clover said pensively. "He hath named teleportation. Mayhap your theft possess some equal magic to this?" Celestia gasped. "Star Swirl have truly created such a spell?" "Well, partly. He strives to perfect it, as much as he wishes to disappear from one location and reappear in another of his actual choosing, rather than simply near it." Clover leaned close and whispered. "One time he did attempt to take himself off his study to the garden, only to render himself with the private hut instead. His cries of dismay and curses could be heard in yet the entire village yonder. Celestia did not snicker. It was the unbecoming of royalty to snicker, even at the idea of pro-faced magician like Starswirl and the bearded up to his fetlocks and dung. Nevertheless, her voice was entirely steady when she said, addressed to the herald, "Highness, fetch a servant to take Clover Clever to the great hall and serve him into whatever meal he doth desire. I shall join him shortly, upon the completion of my courtly duties." Harold bowed low. "'Twill be done, Highness. And fetch Princess Luna too. I am confident that her joy of thy presence will be much as my dear Clover." Celestia smiled. Finally something was going their way. With the practical talent and experienced unicorn like Clover, the clever around, they would surely find the elements of harmony in no time, and finally be able to punish whatever rogue had taken them. Clover wasn't used to eating in gigantic rooms anymore. Before there was an Equestria, when the land of ponies was just a collection of settlements fending off enemies by themselves and trying to scratch out a living, he had spent his youth accompanying his mentor on spell-gathering quests, as he had more often dined by the campfire light or cropped grass beside whatever dirt path they were walking. When the allure of that life dwindled, he had accepted an offer from Princess Platinum to be her royal mage, in much to Starswirl's disapproval. "Soft living breeds soft-mindedness, my student," he had warned. "Be sure that thy studies do not suffer for thy obedience to the princess's whims and fancies. I would be much charmed to find my protege a mere lapdog whenever I next pass this way." Clover had dismissed Starswirl's warning as nothing more than a grumpy cautious of a pony. So old he was too stuck in his ways to see anything but his own way as the right way. Clover had enjoyed eating sumptuous meals in even more sumptuous settings at first, and being at Princess Platinum's beck and call had seemed to have a small price to pay for the study to keep his books and regular meal times. Yet his surprise he had not taken to a life of luxury after all that initial flush of pleasure. His hooves became itchy. His gaze went to the horizon, and in his mind wandered what lay beyond it, and what there was to learn there. Following the founding of Equestria, he had taken his leave of Platinum and the unicorns who had went south with her. Instead of striking out on his own spell-gathering quests, which had left them with an acute appreciation for family kitchens and big meals in the small rooms. Sitting at a dining table in the great hall of Castle Everfree made him feel lonely and, though he didn't like to admit it, invulnerable. Something was different about Everfree since he had last seen it last. There was more tension into the air he had felt when he had first walked over the drawbridge, and only intensified when he met with Princess Celestia. He was beautiful as the day he had first seen her, and held herself with the same imposing grace, but her eyes were sadder than he remembered. The loss of the elements of harmony had hit her hard, and he imagined giving away so many things on the treaty with Griffonia had not lightened her worries. She recalled Starswirl's words the day the two unicorns had appeared with their magic jewels and driven back to the invading griffins that had threatened to end Equestria before it truly began, and how founding ponies had agreed to make them rulers and protectors of the country they had created. "Theirs is not a task for which I would wish," Starswirl said. "The weight of the crown must be heavier than mere metal. I wonder these two comprehend the true burden of what they do undertake here today." Clover wondered too, yet to their credit, neither Celestia nor Luna had forsaken their duties, their country or their ponies. Even Princess Platinum only held a court a few times a week, and even though he had grown to like her during his tenure as her mage, Clover didn't like to think of what may have happened, and she had a hoof-forming treaty with someone like King Insenjuine. We might all be on platters turning in spits on saltwort right now, he thought. He had been to the Griffonia capital in disguise and found the place of grim and uninviting as he had suspected. Southworld's year-round snow and ice had made him turn back for Equestria's warmer times and as fast as his hooves could carry him, without even one bit of griffin magic his repertoire to show for it. An earth pony who had tied her mane and tail into braids brought him a thick piece of dark bread. He had assumed that he was to use his tincture. In poorer homes, there was no culinary ponies typically to put food on slabs of bread and ate the bread too afterwards. However, she placed it on a gleaming metal plate and proceeded to bring him several more dishes of food before he stopped her. "Good mare, I do beseech thee, my stomach may only contain so much food. Pray free cease thy comings and goings, for as I'm satisfied with the feast now laid before me." The earth pony blinked at him, clutching her serving tray to her chest with one hoof. "If that be thy wish, lord," she whispered, "that will be, though I am no lord," he smiled. "But art thou not Clover the Clever, founding father of Equestria?" "Ah, so it was why she was so nervous around him." Clover nodded, affecting the playful expression he had on perfected when dealing with ponies who had only heard his legend and half believed him as a character of myth, rather than a pony of flesh and blood like them. "I am thee, though still I am no lord. I am as thee, good mare, a pony born and a pony of my life. I seek not to be called lord, merely Clover. Wouldst thou give me this wish?" She nodded like a chicken pecking grain. "I would do as thou sayest, sir. May I be excused?" He nodded and sighed as she scuttled away. Well, sir was better than lord, though not by much. He settled down to enjoy his meal, reminding himself of the courtly manners he had learned from Platinum. As he ate, he turned his mind to the conundrum of the elements of harmony and began considering the discarded spells used on the chamber so he might be able to learn more of their disappearance. He would need to ask Celestia, Luna, and the guards, who had been there that night, form a comprehensive image in his head of what each had seen, and then use that guide as his magic and see whatever all those get to guard in the items were entirely truthful, though he knew Celestia and Luna would both defend their guard's honor, since they had hoof-picked them and entrusted their own safety to them every day and night. Clover was not above suspecting those names lords of foul play. He had seen them much in his travels, and knew that even a country like Adelic as Equestria, some ponies' hearts beat to darker rhythm. He only hoped he would not discover some pony in King Sandri's employ, as a blow could be agonizing for poor Celestia and Luna. As he munched on a bowl of practically tender green shoots, the doors to the great hall opened. He looked up, expecting Celestia to have finally finished her courtly audiences, but it was Luna who came towards him. He swallowed and quickly rose from his seat, extending a hoof for her to shake. A founding pony, he knew, he enjoyed such a degree of respect from the princesses not afforded to even a nobility who had chosen to live with them here in the Castle Everfree. Luna looked at his hoof for a moment before shaking it. "My presence was much unexpected, Lord Clover." Clover rolled his eyes and chuckled. "Pray free, Princess Luna. I care not for the title, Lord. I am mere Clover, as I've always been. Upon occasion of pomp and circumstance, I may also be Clover the Clever, but I am happier thus." She nodded, though her expression didn't change. He was struck by the differences in her far more than the changes in Celestia. Luna had grown thin, her limbs had spindly as he was surprised by her muscles, were trembling with the effort to keep her upright. She looked sick, epiphized by the dark circles around her eyes, and the lank of condition in her mane and tail. Hoof maintenance have done their best to give her hair and body a shine, but she was not the splendid mare Clover remembered. If Luna now had taken in a platoon of the Griffins, as she had once done to serve Counselor Puddinghead, he wondered whether she would still be able to do it. Evidently, The loss of elements of harmony had affected her even more than her sister. When he met her eyes, however, he didn't see the same sadness in Celestia's. Luna's stare was blank, not even a hint of emotion anywhere. The back of his neck prickled, although he didn't show it as she sat beside him and pulled out a daffodil off his plate to eat herself. My apologies. I was abed when the news of my arrival reached me. Else I would have greeted thee sooner. Thy travels have taken thee far and wide? She asked uncondominally. Far enough and wide enough, Clover replied. Beyond Equestria's borders? Sometimes, though, I confess, I do prefer Equestria. Has the knowledge of Graphonia, the frozen north, and the dragon lands, Luna named their nearest neighbors. Some, though frozen north, remains unknown to me. My mentor half had made the journey here hence, should thou wish to learn of it. Ah, yes, Starswirl and Beard, said Luna with a nod. I presume thy youth and experiences have rendered thee superior his knowledge and learning now. Clover choked on his mouthful. When he swallowed it, he laughed out loud. Me surpass Master Starswirl? Princess Luna, thy must just be amusing in extreme. My skills must be formidable, but remain no match for his. Luna didn't laugh with him. Her silence evidently caused his own laughter to evaporate, and he fell back to eating in silence. She took a leaf of lettuce from his plate and nibbled on it daintily, examining it between bites. Princess Luna, knowest thou of my purpose hither? Sir, Clover finally asked. He found it strange that she had not mentioned the elements of harmony, since she had to know why he was there. I knoweth it, she replied calmly. Will it, though, desire my account of the night in question? Indeed. Then I shall give it unto thee. I presume my dear sister's account will also be required? Indeed. Also those 5 guards and hers. Luna's ears flicked back for a moment. Therefore? Clover blinked at her. Why? So that I may understand the true nature of what occurred in this heinous act that was committed. If I thought is that the guards have some part in it. For the first time, the actual emotion crept into Luna's voice, though her eyes remained pensive. That was not my allegation, Princess. Neither thy guards nor thy sisters are suspect in this act. I merely wish to put myself in place, and may only do so with their words in my mind. Luna's ears flicked back again, even though it was momentarily. It made Clover wonder. She stood and gave him a courtesy bow. I take my leave of thee, Clover the Clever. Thy counsel in this matter shalt be of much value, and I thank thee for time and interest. The elements of harmony are worth both my name and interest, Princess Luna. Thy well-being also. She paused. My well-being? I'm not blind, Princess, though art as not as I remember thee. The loss of the elements have affected this much, and I do promise to restore them to thee, so that if I gleam to Lester to be also restored. She also said nothing for several seconds. Be these changes in me very obvious? Though art still beautiful, Princess, Clover reassured her. Princess or commoner, Mayor still cared about what they looked like. He had found out. But thy thoughts must weigh heavily on thee, free if knowest me more than thou have voiced before. I beseech thee tell me, and I shall do in my power to set them right. If she was protecting one of her guards for some reason, or knew more than he had told her sister, and the worry had done this to her. I will set my account in writing for thee, Luna said sharply. That thou mayest consult even with my own presence, be not with thee. Good day to thee, Clover the Clever. Good day to thee, Princess Luna, Clover said. Before he had finished, she was already walking away.
What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Ms. Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, please stay pretty.